You are not lazy, my friend. The challenge is that you are just trying to do so many things at the same time. You can have a lot on your to dos, but the truth is that if your structure is not really in sync, you are going to struggle for a long time. I have been there. You see, this sudden waking up and just realizing that you have been off balance, that you haven't really kept up with your promises and the things you have always told yourself that you wanted to do, and you're like, oh, from today, I'm going to be doing this. I often say this a lot. There's a lot of times people come into my space and they're like, Coach Faith, oh, I have not been able to read for the past 1 year. I've not been consistent. But right now, I want to take it up back again. And you're like, okay, that's great. It's a wonderful idea for you to step up and say, okay, I've not been doing this. Let me begin to realign my steps. And then the next thing you hear is, Coach Faith, I want to read 4 books this month. I want to read 6 books this month. It doesn't work like that. Even at this level that I am, there are times I always have to call myself back to order, back to design. That, oh, Faith, you want to do this. Maybe there is a course I'm trying to go through for my coach, or there's something I'm trying to learn. And I'm like, oh, I've actually delayed this. Let me just go on in 5 hours today. And then after a while, I call myself back to order, be like, Coach Faith, are you sure you can really do this? There are other things that are also begging for your attention. And so I started to learn the consistency challenge, how to become very consistent with the process of really doing the work that connect to my purpose, that connect to where I'm headed. All right. Many a times we feel guilty because we have not been able to keep up with the things we want to keep up with. It is really not your fault. It is not that you're a bad person or that you are not purposeful enough. It is usually because you have not been able to learn how to design your life adequately. Clarity without design is going to be chaotic. So you can know that this is what I'm looking out for in this season. This is the life I want to live. This is the transformation I'm looking forward to. But you don't have proper design for it, you are going to experience chaos. You are going to experience setback along the line. And that's why you get to a level, you start looking at yourself a certain way, and you're like, am I really even serious about my life right now? Am I serious about learning? Am I serious about making money? Am I serious about whatever level of growth it is that you're looking out for in that particular area of life? I want you to understand that growth as it is a journey. And the more you are able to understand your rhythm, understand how you work, understand your flow state, okay, the more you are able to step into the realm of optimal connectivity with yourself, optimal connectivity with focus and all that is required for you to really step on board. So going forward, my friend, I like to encourage you because you have the capacity to do the needful. Let me ask you this question. Do you brush your teeth every morning? Do you do that? Do you wake up in the morning and like, oh, I don't need to brush my teeth today? We all do that every morning. It's almost like it's a routine for the vast majority. We could even begin to say 95% of people in the world today have to do that, especially for adults who are matured enough to understand that this is a necessity and people in their right senses. So if you do that every morning, for example, you can begin to also understand that it is of necessity that you begin to start from the place of what we call habit stacking, where you now begin to recognize the different things that you're already doing with ease, all right? The different activities on a daily basis that you currently engage in. By the time you recognize them, you take inventory of them, you can begin to, stack new habits into those old ones. Let's say you brush your teeth in the morning, like I already said. It is possible that after brushing your teeth, you can tell yourself, I'm going to read for 5 minutes. I'm going to make my bed for 2 minutes. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And it's going to become something you do with ease. The reason is because you have been able to connect it to something that your brain is already used to. The brain of a man, as it is, works based on patterns. It works based on what they already used to. So if you know how to integrate new habits into old habits, all right, it is going to really help you. So here's a simple framework so that whenever you remember that Coach Faye spoke about my consistency challenge, how I can become better, how I can do this, this is what you should begin to do going forward. This is what I call the calm framework. Calm framework. Okay? The C there talks about connecting the habit. All right? Like I just said already, don't be a superwoman or a superman to say, oh, I can put it all together. I have the capacity to do this. Oh, I'm just going to wake up and I'll read 30 minutes. And those kind of resolutions that we make. We wake up and all of a sudden we just want to do certain things that we've never done before. And we are praying and hoping that the discipline will follow after we have made the decision. It doesn't work that way. Like I said before, your brain works based on patterns, and your ability to integrate new habits into old ones will help you to stay committed to the process. In the calm framework, the C there speaks to the art of connection. So you must be able to connect the habit you're about to build right now into something you're already used to. Did you get that? Okay, so let's talk about the A. The A there speaks to the art of anchoring. You must anchor it small. Okay, it is important if you're doing a bit stacking, you must understand that you have to start small. See, I used to struggle a lot with doing my own laundries. I used to struggle a lot. I've shared it a lot of times in this channel. And after a while, I realized I read the book, Mini Habits, such a powerful book. And when I read that book, it's also the same concept connected to what James Clear wrote on Atomic Habits and some other great authors. And I started to understand that, of course, I cannot always bypass my willpower. Willpower is the egoic nature of man. That each time you try to do certain things, you want to go against it, it is going to resist you. Most of these things I'm saying, you don't even know it by consciousness. It is something that has already been wired into your system. So the moment I started to realize that, oh my, I needed to break this thing down, it became easier for me. So I don't pile up my clothes back in those. I can pick up just one or two of them in a day and I wash it. Maybe when I'm about to have my bath, and it became easier for me to navigate. Sometimes when I'm cleaning my house, I have to clean it in portion. When I used to do it all by myself, I have to clean it in small segments, and that helped. So that is really what it means to anchor it small. If you want to read a book, you don't just wake up in a day and say, I want to read 30 pages today. It doesn't work that way. You must start from 1 page, 2 pages, 3 pages, and then you grow. That is what it means to anchor it small. By that, your willpower is going to be like, oh, nothing is happening here. It's just the normal faith, Michael. It's just the normal you. All right? Nothing is really going on. But at the end of the day, you may not begin to see yourself growing in capacity, in bands and weight. And before you know it, it is not second nature. When you start small, you build up. The truth is, that is how it works. You must anchor it small, all right? And the L there speaks to the art of loop it daily. So what do I mean by this? I mean that you have to be able to do it repetitively. It is repetition that creates ease. It is repetition that builds momentum. Because a lot of times we just believe that, oh, we can do it all by ourselves. No, it is the consistency of it. As I do YouTube videos in 2023, now it has become better for me. I'm growing at it. I'm building the momentum. I will not just wake up today and all of a sudden I just have all the traction. I'm not anticipating that because I'm on a journey. Do you understand that? I'm on a journey. I have to be able to build momentum. I have to be able to enter into that place of ease and rest and Sabbath before the flow can begin to come. That's how the love manifestation works. You have to be able to get to a level where you now enter into Sabbath, you now enter into ease. You're no longer struggling to keep up. That's when the traction comes. Because right now you're flowing from the place of positive energy. My videos will soon go viral. The reason is because I have entered into the place of ease and rest. I understand how to navigate this terrain, and it's been beautiful for the past years. I want to encourage you to begin to do this on a daily basis. Like, learn how to integrate it into your system, learn how to do it again and again. That's how it flows. Let's talk about the M there. The M stands for what? Monitoring and adjustment. Okay, whatever habit you don't get to monitor, forget about it. You may not be able to scale it. Your monitoring ability is where you get to reflect, you adjust, you know what is working, what is not working, the lessons you have learned, and how to even begin to project further. Have you learned something today, friends? This is it. It's been beautiful having this conversation with you. I call this the consistency challenge, where you really begin to integrate the calm framework that will really begin to help you navigate your journey when it comes to habit building. All right, when it comes to really ensuring that you keep up with what you say you want to keep up with. Yes, friends, thank you for stopping by. I want to especially use this opportunity to celebrate you. We have a lot on the platform. Please stay connected. This is the voice of Coach Faith, and this is the platform where you get integrated into the world of personal transformation. You get to know yourself better, build capacity for influence, income, and impact, right? So do have a lovely season ahead. I'll see you in my next